Hello, how are y'all? I'd love to start this video out anchoring in the presence of the divine. So if y'all would like to join me in prayer and meditation to really center into ourselves and to center into the divine and to call upon any angels, ancestors, or guides that would like to join us for this video. So if you'd like to join me, we can close our eyes. We're going to take a few centering breaths. Just inhale deep through the nose. And fully exhale all the way out. And again, inhale all the way. And exhale. One more deep inhale. And all the way out. And centering ourselves now into our heart space. We call upon peace and the presence of God. Calling forward any angels, ancestors, or guides that would like to join us throughout this video, who have any divine messages that they would like to come through for the highest good of all watching and the highest good of humanity. Okay, how are y'all doing today? I feel as though we've gone through so many shifts. Recently, it's just been shift after shift after shift, going inward, going inward, going inward, and there's just so much going on in our internal worlds. And I just love to create this space for us to dive deeper into what's going on. You know, this can be a confusing time because we are like so close to the levee breaking. Is that the saying? The levees will break. We're so close to the tipping point. And this is when it can feel the most intense. And it can also be the most confusing because it's like you think you have that inner sense, you know that you're close to something, but you don't know what that something is. And then simultaneously, we're getting hit with everything that is no longer serving us, because this is like the final step. This is like the step into our dharma rather than being trapped in the wheel of karma. We're like truly stepping into our dharma here. And so we must go through that final purge. Every single old belief, thought pattern, habit, deep programming, any emotion that we've been suppressing, everything has got to go. We're at the pivotal point where it's all got to go, all of it. And this can be so intense and confusing because you're like, I know I'm close to something. I feel like I'm really like stepping into a closer relationship to God, a closer relationship to the divine. But at the same time, it's so scary because all of these old memories are popping back up and all of my old patterning and programming is popping back up, and you feel like you're slipping backwards, but you're not. We're not slipping backwards. It's all things that have been within us. And this is like, if you took a magnifying glass to a crumb, like there's still like a crumb of this limiting belief within you. There's still a crumb of the old emotions within you. And we're taking a magnifying glass to these things in order to amplify and really bring them to your attention to make sure that you don't miss it. Because where we're headed, we can't take any of this stuff, not even a crumb. We can't even bring a crumb with us. So it's really intense right now because it's all being magnified for our highest good. It's all being magnified to make sure that we don't miss anything, to be sure that it's all purged and cleansed from our body before we step into our dharma, before we step into our path of full creation and full abundance. And so it can be a scary time because you feel like, I've done all of this work and I have gone through hell and back. I've done my dark night of the soul. I've walked through the valley of the shadows of death already. Like, I have put in my time. What am I still doing here? Is this going to just last forever? Is there like really no light at the end of the tunnel? Like, this is when it gets the darkest almost, because we are so close that all of the light is closing off and we're being shown all of the darkness that we need to see before we take that final step. There's like one more step and then we're fully in the light. But like the light has to close off first. It's like the final test of faith. The final test to see what you're going to choose. If you're thrown back into the darkness one last time, are you sure? Are you sure you know where you're going? Are you sure that you have faith? And it's not being done to make us feel bad about ourselves. It's being done to show us how close we are. It's the final test. I wanted to pull one of these angel cards. My Archangel Fire Oracle deck. I love this deck. I think it's beautiful. So I want to pull a card, just see whose energy would like to come through for this collective. Who has a message for our highest good? Oh. Ah, I dropped it. I don't know how to say this. Fuel. I don't know. Let's see what she has to say. This is very pretty. Aqua. This color of aqua, which is the color of the heart center on the higher planes of existence. It's like the green, the color green is our heart center at the third dimensional level. But as we rise in consciousness, our heart center, our chakra, actually transforms into an aqua color. Okay. Let's see what she has to say. Cleansing. Gentle flowing fuel, I hope I'm saying that right, is the angel of the waters, and her role is to help cleanse the planet and ourselves of any debris, toxins, negative vibrations, and emotions. What was I just saying, you guys? She works closely with Archangel Ariel, guardian of nature and air, to protect and nurture Mother Earth. Fuel also helps us to understand and manage our emotions as they ebb and flow just like water with the power of the moon. The color associated with the angel fuel is a beautiful shade of turquoise, like the crystal clear waters of the Maldives or the Caribbean. Imagine this flame is alive and fluid like the sea, as in the image of her as a mermaid bathing in crystal clear lagoon. Fuel's light can flow around us and through you to cleanse every part of your physical and energetic body. She helps to keep us in the flow of life so that we do not feel stuck or hemmed in by our circumstances. As her name sounds like fool, I also associate her with the Fool in the tarot. With her carefree attitude and innocent fearlessness, Fool reminds us that worrying about something or trying to control a situation often has the opposite effect. If we just remember to let go and let flow, the angels will do their best to make sure life goes our way. Message: allow yourself to be cleansed of all that is no longer serving you in preparation for growth and renewal. Ooh, I'm getting like chills. If you are contemplating a detox or lifestyle change, this card is validation that you are on the right path. That is so beautiful. Invoke Fool's clarifying energy to detox any part of your life that needs this archangel's deep cleansing properties. Detoxing doesn't only have to refer to our diet. There may be times when you need to detox your life of negative people, situations, or even low vibe media. Perhaps you may need to get out of the city and into some fresh country air, or cut back on too much overindulgence. Letting go of what no longer serves us is a necessary part of our growth. Fool can help bring you to the clarity you need so you can more easily recognize when you need to detox or cleanse. Okay. When you become the essence of Fool, you are likely to feel refreshed on all levels. Any obstacles in your path may simply wither and dissolve away, or you will be able to flow around them onto a new path which serves you in a much better way. Wow, beautiful. Let's do a guided meditation on her to invoke her energy. So let's close our eyes. Take a really deep cleansing breath. Exhale fully. We're going to allow a turquoise ray to flow down over and through us like a crystalline waterfall. Just spend a moment here soaking in this light, envisioning this turquoise waterfall flowing down from above, and just basking in this beautiful energy. Imagine the waterfall becoming a flame and breathe in this sacred fire, taking in all of its healing and cleansing properties. Take a moment to ask Fool to work with the rains, the streams, the lakes, the oceans, and the moon energy to help cleanse the earth and your own emotions of any unwanted energies or negativity. See the flames around you becoming liquid light and soak in this light once more. Imagine Fool hands you a large conch shell filled with crystal clear water. As you drink this cleansing elixir, it helps to flush out all energetic and emotional toxins. Thank Fool. Rinse off in white light and ground yourself, anchoring into Gaia. So much gratitude. Thank you. And we'll open our eyes. Wow. So we can invoke her presence whenever we need. That was nice. Yeah, I feel like we're going through a massive cleansing right now. Even the planet itself is going through a massive cleansing, you know. Gaia is awake. She has woken up. And we have nothing to fear. Both worlds right now are overlaying each other. And so right now we can still see the old earth, and we can see the people who are choosing to stay with the old earth. And it can be very painful. It feels like we're grieving a major loss right now. But just like the snake, the Ouroboros snake, where there's an ending, there's also a new beginning. So allow yourself to go through this grieving process, whether it's the death of you, the death of your ego, the death of the you that lived on the old earth, grieving the old earth, grieving the people who chose to stay on the old earth, on the old timeline. Allow yourself to feel this grief right now. It's very intense. It's very intense. And when we choose to feel this grief rather than suppressing it and spiritually bypassing it and being like, oh no, I'm on the new earth now, so I don't need to worry about all of that. I'm somewhere different. You're bypassing. And it truly is helping bring the new earth into fruition when you can feel this grief. You're helping with grid work when you can feel the grief and you can allow yourself to cry and scream and hit a pillow or whatever you need to do with your grief, while simultaneously becoming the mother presence, the presence of the mother, knowing that all is well, going through and feeling this grief while simultaneously understanding that you are safe. You're safe to feel, you are safe to go through. Hugging yourself through this. I spend so much time in sacred ritual with myself, really. Whenever I have an emotion come up, I sit down in ritual with myself to feel it. I find a safe space and I allow it to come up. Whatever needs to come up, I let it. And I hug myself and I cry and I remind myself that I'm safe. I tell myself that it's going to be okay. But I never shame myself. I never tell myself I shouldn't be feeling this. I just let myself flow through it like water. And it doesn't last long. Like yesterday morning, I was feeling deep, deep shame. A shame that I have carried with me my entire life. A shame that on some levels, my human wonders if it's ever going to go away. I wonder sometimes if this is just going to be with me forever, if it's just a part of who I am. And I allow myself to feel that fear, to bring that fear up. What if this shame stays with me for the rest of my life? And I allow myself to cry in the presence of that fear because that fear is scary. That is a scary thing to think. What if this shame, what if this feeling in my solar plexus stays with me for the rest of my life? I'll never be free of it. And I let myself bring that fear up. I let myself feel that grief, that what if. I allow it to be there and I cry and I hold myself while I cry. And I remind myself that I am safe to feel this way. And yesterday I probably sat there with myself for like 15 minutes. And then I moved on and I went on about my day, and the rest of my day was filled with peace and joy. And I had fun, and my husband and I cooked dinner together and we walked our dog and just had a beautiful rest of our day. But if I had chosen to not sit in this ritual with myself, this sacred prayer with myself to feel this, I would have carried that with me all day. And it would have just been something on the back of my mind, and I wouldn't have been able to be present, and I wouldn't have been able to sink deeper into the moment because that lingering sense of shame would have been there with me, and I would have been trying to ignore it. But that's the thing about emotions, is that you can't really ignore it. You can pretend like you're ignoring it, but it's still there. You still know it's there. Especially when you get this far on the journey, you know it's there, and then you also know you're ignoring it, and so then it's just something that lingers with you until you face it. So allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to feel safe while you feel. Allow yourself to enter into this sacred. Create a sacred ritual for yourself as you go through these emotions. Allow it all to be there and allow it all to be okay. Because it's not you. It's not you. I know it feels like it's you. I just told you what mine was. I know it feels like it's you. I know it feels like it's going to be with you forever. But it's not. And if you can be in that duality, in that knowing that it's not you, in that knowing that it's not going to be with you forever, but simultaneously in the fear of like, but what if it is? What if it is? You simultaneously become the version of you that has the fear and the archetypal mother who's comforting you and holding you in prayer and ritual, who knows that it's not you, who knows that you're going to be okay, who knows that your name has been written in heaven. Who knows that your rightful place is with God. And in God, there cannot be shame. So it's impossible for you to have it stick with you forever, but it feels like it will. And honor that feeling, honor that fear, not because it's true, but because it's how you feel. Honor it because it's what's coming up for you. Honor it because there is a version of you who thinks it's true. And that version of you doesn't want to be shamed. That version of you doesn't want to be shunned. That version of you wants to be seen and honored in their feelings because they're scary and they're big feelings. And you cannot leave yourself alone inside of these big feelings or you'll just get swallowed up by them. And it's easy to allow yourself to be swallowed up. It's painful, but it can also be the quote unquote easier choice because then you don't have to look at it. It takes a fearless individual, a brave and courageous individual to say no. That version of me who has that fear, I will not let them stand alone. I will not let them be swallowed by the fear. It's like jumping in front of a bullet for somebody. Of course you're scared. Of course it's terrifying. But the thought of that person that you love getting shot is far more painful than facing it yourself. Not being a martyr about it, not playing the victim about it, but just knowing that it is your honor to enter into that void, dark, scary, fearful space. It is an honor to step into that space with that version of you. It is an honor to be there for them and with them. It is an honor to guide them and to comfort them and to love them. It is an honor that that is your role right now in this lifetime. And it's a reflection of who you choose to be in your physical reality. Who are you choosing to be for your friends and for your family and your loved ones? Who are you choosing to be for humanity? When shit hits the fan, are you just going to go run and hide? Or are you going to fearlessly and courageously face it because you know it's an illusion, and the only way to cast out illusions is to look them in the face, is to face them, even when your voice shakes, even as you tremble. The only way to cast out illusions is to look at them and to love them. The only thing stronger than fear is love. And in the presence of love, fear ceases to exist. It ceases to exist because it's not real. It's not real. Fear is not real. Fear is an illusion. And whenever you show up in unconditional love in front of the fear, it literally swallows the light. Your light swallows the darkness and proves to you that it was not real. I hope this is making sense because it's so important. Because that's what we're doing right now in front of humanity. We are becoming beacons of light. But if you can't face your own darkness, how are you going to face the darkness of the world? How are you going to become a beacon of light for humanity? A lighthouse in a storm, the eye of the hurricane, the calm center, the still point. You must first go within and become that for yourself so that you dive deep into your own darkness and then you return with a gift. And the gift is simply just your ability to stay centered in your truth in the face of darkness, in the face of chaos, in the face of fear. You are so rooted and grounded down into yourself and down into your own darkness that nothing can shake you. You will become immovable in the face of fear. And if you are resonating with me, this is the path we are on. And it's not always the easy path, but it's the path we're choosing. It's the path we have chose in. Because we have so much love. Because it hurts us to see the world hurting. And rather than becoming a martyr for the world, we are reclaiming our power and we are rooting ourselves into our own darkness so that we may return with a gift for humanity, which is showing them that just because it's chaotic, just because it's dark, doesn't mean you have to be swayed by it. Showing, by leading, by example. We're not telling and shaming them and telling them they're doing it wrong. No. We've surrendered to all of that, and we understand that we just must become a silent presence, an immovable presence in the face of chaos, in the face of darkness. We become unshakable. And that is why we're doing the work. We are not doing the work to be rich and famous. Maybe that's a side effect. I'm not shaming anybody's desires. That could be a side effect of doing the work, but that's not the reason why we're doing the work. The reason why we're doing the work is because we are unconditional love. We are love. And once you wake up to this, once you wake up to the love that's within you, it's like a gravitational force to become it for the world. You become it for yourself, and then you have no choice. Almost, it feels that way sometimes. You have no choice but to now shine what you have found within yourself out to the world, not by being loud and boastful, but by becoming that silent, unshakable, unmovable presence in a world that seems dark and scary and chaotic. And once we can master our internal world is when we begin to shine that light externally. You must fill up your own cup. It'll runneth over or whatever. But yeah, so let's come back into a silent moment. Just coming back into stillness, into prayer. Recentering, realigning with the divine. And just taking this moment, calling upon our angels, ancestors, and guides to come to us individually. To give us any messages that would be beneficial for us to have at this time for the highest good of humanity and for the highest good of all. And slowly just beginning to open our eyes. Or pausing here and continuing with your meditation. Thank you all so much for being here on this planet. I know it's not easy. I know it can be very isolating and lonely, but I just want to reassure you that it's not for nothing. And I know that you know it's not for nothing. I know you know that there is a greater force driving you, because it knows what we are here for. It knows the impact that we have when we live life this way. It knows that what we perceive as sacrifices are not really sacrifices. We're not laying down our lives for another and becoming a martyr. We are sacrificing the illusionary world so that we may step into the kingdom of heaven within. And when you think of it that way, that you're giving up an illusion to step into reality, to step into the kingdom of heaven, which is unconditional love, they don't really feel like sacrifices anymore. I love you so much, and I'll talk to you later.